Hey everyone, happy January. Welcome back to the channel, Pop Retro. Pop Retro 1 on Twitter and Instagram, facebook.com/Pop Retro. So I'd like to go back to my Vinegar Syndrome released library today. And one of their most recent releases, actually this was a what do you call it? Announced in November, delivered in December release. And that is from 1991, we have Steel Lace. Now, this is directed by Ernest Farino. And this is one of those movies that, for me, this is the type of thing that I would have found on the shelf at the video store, which is what this was made for, the video store era, and was released on VHS. And this is exactly the type of movie in 1991 that I would have been perusing the shelves of my local video store, hoping to find something like this, where something of this nature would catch my eye, and I would say, yes, that's what I'm looking for. Because this is not a movie that was released theatrically. It was actually produced and released for the home video market back when it was booming in those late 80s and into the 90s, back during that era. So you have a woman who was played by Claire Wren, W-R-E-N, and she's assaulted early on in the movie, and I think I can give away this stuff. This is in the description on the back, and this kind of what the film is about. And her brother, who was played by Bruce Davison, winds up somehow, apparently he's some sort of scientist, some really high-tech dude, and he's able to bring her back to life after she commits suicide following her assault and the subsequent court case, where her assaulters are not brought to justice. So she's going to get justice, only it's not really her. I mean, it is really her, but she's basically a robot. She's got robot mechanics in her head. She's just kind of brought back to life as a killing machine. And so kind of a basic trope for a lot of movies of this type, back beginning with, say, RoboCop, in '87, and sort of the Terminator feels and things like that. Now, Claire Wren, who plays the lead in this, she's best known for her work on the TV series The Young and the Restless. And one thing that's interesting about Steel and Lace is just how TV it feels in a lot of ways. I really liked police procedurals of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And this feels like, a lot of it feels like a throwback to those police procedurals that you might have seen, like a Stephen J. Cannell show, like Hunter or Silk Stockings. That's the type of vibe that I got from a lot of this, if you just took away the science fiction portion of what's going on. And that's how you had to make these movies, that you're trying to fill the video store shelves, and you had low budgets. You only had, I believe they said $350,000 was the budget for this film. So along the way, we have Stacy Haiduk, who was in Smallville, the syndicated the Superboy series from '88 to '92. Stacy Haiduk, she plays a court, not reporter, but she's like an artist who's drawing the pictures in the courtroom. And for whatever reason, she takes on an interest in this case, and she starts poking around, trying to track down what's going on, because the people who assaulted, these gangsters that assaulted Claire Wren's character, they're getting knocked off one by one. And so Stacy Haiduk's character is trying to figure out why. And of course, her ex-boyfriend happens to be David Naughton, who plays a cop. And so this cop played by Naughton is also investigating what is going on. So the leader of the bad guys, very interesting actor. His name is Michael Cerveris, and he played a part in the TV series Fringe, several years back. But super versatile. He's won 2 Tony Awards since he did this movie, and you just never guess that somebody in this movie would have been so accomplished, the ones that you don't really know who they are, and maybe you do know who Cerveris is. I didn't really ring a bell when I was looking up information on him, but nonetheless, very interesting. So again, this is just perfect video store viewing of what I would have wanted to watch in 1991 if I was picking something out to watch for that. And Bruce Davison is probably the most accomplished and maybe names, one of the biggest name of the cast, because back then Hajduk wasn't very well known. I don't think Claire Wren was ever well known, nor did she become super well known, I don't think, aside from that Young Riders stint that she had. But Bruce Davison, he was Willard in the 1971 film Willard. He was he played that rotten senator in those first couple of X-Men movies, and he was also in the 2008 Knight Rider reboot that NBC aired. So I feel like I've seen Bruce Davison through all the different eras, from the 70s to here in the 90s, and into the 2000s. So he's just been everywhere. So Vinegar Syndrome releases this in one of their really good looking packages, as always. And there's the back of the slip. Okay, there's the spine. Now, they of course sell these in standard editions as well. If you don't want the slip, it costs a little bit more for the slip. So here's a look at the standard, and of course it's the same artwork there. There's a look at the back. I'll give a couple of screenshots there. There's a look at the disc itself. I'm going to pull out the artwork here so you can see the reverse side. So that's the actual reverse side, and I'm just going to assume that that was the art for the VHS release back in the day, that I would have seen, or all of us would have seen, on the video store shelf. So one thing that's interesting about this package is that they have presented this movie in 4:3, you know, the old square TV aspect ratio, because, and there's even a note before it airs that this was the intended aspect ratio, is 4:3, because it was made for home video on TV screens that were made by 4:3. However, Vinegar Syndrome has included a 16:9 widescreen presentation as well. And according to what it says, prior to that, it says that in the early 2000s, back during the real big boom when everybody was going to widescreen TVs, that they actually created a widescreen version of this just for people, you know, to air on cable, just so that people with their widescreen TVs could have their screen filled. So Vinegar Syndrome says that that's not the intended way it should be viewed. However, they are including it just for completionist's sake. So I thought that was interesting and pretty cool. If there's some of you who have that little bit of OCD and you just got to have it in the widescreen. Quick look at the special features. I know there was a commentary track with the director Farino, who he did visual effects and main titles before he directed film, and he did the main titles for Terminator and The Abyss, and the titles on this are actually pretty cool. The opening title card, where it kind of shows this grinder, metal grinder going across the screen, causing sparks, revealing the title of the movie, Steel and Lace. So I thought that was kind of cool. Jason Doherty, one of the writers, is also wound up winning an Emmy for the TV series 30 Something. So there's some real talent that was actually in Steel and Lace. I was getting to the extras. Scanned and restored in 2K from its 35mm interpositive. Commentary track with director Farino. Iron, Carbon, Anger, the elements of Steel and Lace, an extended making of documentary featuring director Farino, producer, co-writer, both writers, cinematographer, composer, casting director, editor, and special effects artists, alongside Stacey Hajduk, David Naughton, John DeMita, Hank Garrett, and Paul Lieber, all actors. in the film. And I did watch that, and it was pretty well done. I mean, just mostly talking heads, recorded in their own living rooms and then edited together. But I really like it when boutique labels go out of their way to add some special features like that. So, especially when you have so many people who are interested in sharing their memories of what went on, especially for such a small budget and probably rather forgotten affair, such as Steel and Lace. So there are subtitles and, of course, the reversible artwork. So there you have it, Steel and Lace. I enjoyed Steel and Lace. I've seen online some people, they're either hot or they're cold with it. The IMDb is, I think it was 4.5 or something like that. So obviously this is schlock movies. This is probably not something I'm going to have my family over and say, hey guys, let's watch Steel and Lace. You're going to love it. But if you like that era of video store rental and that kind of, just grind them out almost like episodic TV and have, spend an hour and 33 minutes and have some fun and then forget about it, then yeah, definitely watch Steel and Lace. I think you'll have fun with it. So that's all for now. And make sure you check back again soon. I'll have another review for you and a haul video coming up soon. And I'll see you then.